Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Dominica's Foreign Affairs Minister expected to advocate for the lifting of U.S. sanctions against Cuba in his address at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. The National Health Commission opened to further consultation on policies for Dominica's new national hospital, and independence celebrations to begin with a National Day of Prayer this weekend. The details after this.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This video has been produced by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, to help small businesses go digital. Good day, I am Rashida. I help families in the community to get everything they need without having to leave their homes. First, I started by presenting my business on WhatsApp. I also tell customers to take a photo of the sign for future orders. I keep all the numbers of my clients. With my database ready, I put together a catalog of products with prices listed to be shared with all my contacts. I also prepare promotions and baskets. When customers come by to collect their orders, we make sure they do not have to wait. Reactivate your business and discover new ways to reach your customers. More guides and templates are available for download.
Visit bb.undp.org. E-Future is now.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
First up in the news, the National Health Commission says it's open to making changes as it continues to hold consultations with multiple stakeholders towards greater accountability at all levels of management at the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital. Part of the Commission's work is to ensure that systems are put in place to attract and retain qualified and able professionals to perform key functions within the health sector. The changes being proposed by the National Health Commission have raised serious concerns within the ranks of the Dominica Public Service Union. The union is concerned about the welfare of health professionals within the new management system at the hospital. The union is particularly concerned about the duration of certain contracts, which it says could lead to brain drain because of the absence of job security.
We will certainly continue the consultation and the engagement. In fact, in the case of DPSU, we like to refer to it as engagement because besides our first sessions in February of last year, we have had other sessions with them. Interestingly enough, when we had these consultations, we didn't hear that coming from the professionals. Nobody said that. So the issue of contracts, and I imagine you would want to ask us about that, that came up even before the DPSU raised it, and we explained that the thinking then was we were going to link this because in the new arrangements as all part of the change, because there are in fact 3 other bills, medical professionals, pharmacists, nursing professionals that we are consulting on, that the arrangements for registration and licensing will be different. Today, what we have had is a registration and no licensing. So we had made this link with the licensing. We're hearing from the consultations and from the PSU, albeit very recently, that this will create some problems. So clearly, it was never the intention to put professional workers out of work. I don't know how this is possible. Yeah. It's just not. But so we're saying we've been spending time looking at the comments during the consultations, we'll compile them, and we're quite open quite open, absolutely, to look again at the issue of these contracts and to see how perhaps we could do it differently to link. Because very importantly, the issue of having professionals stay on the cutting edge of their profession was not something ever spoken about within our hospital and healthcare delivery system.
The National Health Commission, established in 2017 with a view to improving the management structure at the new Dominica China Friendship Hospital, the NCH says its goal is not to put anyone out of work.
Healthcare workers are the most lucrative jobs in the world. There'll always be jobs. But there are things like fixed-term employment, long-term employment, mobile employment. These are all parts of things that healthcare people, that's why the Medical Association will find talking with us. Healthcare workers are important, but they have a lot of options. So what we're doing as the Excellency said, we will relook at this contractual terms of fixed terms, and certainly we can adjust them. Yeah.
A reminder to Dominicans on the safe use of pesticides to protect themselves and the environment. Dominica joins the rest of the region in observing Pesticide Awareness Week, which runs from the 27th of September to the 3rd of October. The theme for Pesticide Awareness Week this year is PPE for COVID, PPE for pesticide use, health and safety for all. Director of Agriculture and Chairman of the Pesticide Control Board, Ricky Brumant, says this year's theme reflects the need for individuals to protect themselves from COVID-19 and the wrong use of pesticides.
We're going to bring discussion around personal protective equipment for COVID, as well as personal protective equipment for pesticide use. And what we have to do certainly is to protect our farmers, protect families and our householders, and so we are going to engage them and the public as to the best use of this equipment in ensuring that they are safe, first and foremost from COVID, and of course from the risks associated with pesticide use.
Mr. Brumant cautioned Dominicans that the safe use of pesticides is not limited only to those who work in agriculture.
Importantly, and sometimes we take it for granted, but pesticides are widely used in the household for different scenarios and different applications. So we are encouraging the householders, the fathers and mothers, of course, to ensure that pesticides are stored properly, that they read the labels, that children are not exposed to pesticide, that their pets are not exposed to pesticide.
And Dominica will kick off its 2020 Independence celebrations with National Day of Prayer this weekend. Andrea Louis explains.
Under normal circumstances, independence celebrations would have started earlier in September. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, extra attention is being given to the proposed calendar to ensure the activities are in keeping with the country's health protocols. Though an official calendar has not yet been approved, Chief Cultural Officer and Chairman of the Independence Committee, Raymond Lawrence, says the go-ahead has been given for hosting the National Days of Prayer this weekend.
I am pleased to announce that the National Days of Prayer will be observed this coming weekend, which are Saturday the 3rd of October and Sunday the 4th of October. So the National Days of Prayer, as usual, will be a start to the Independence Celebrations 2020. This year we're celebrating our 42nd anniversary of independence. And so, as chairman of the Independence Committee, I want to encourage the public at large and churches and the respective congregations to join us in prayer for the nation, and also to give thanksgiving and praise to God for all His blessings.
While unable to disclose other activities on the calendar, Mr. Lawrence says the use of virtual platforms will be well utilized to host some activities.
We did start advertising online competitions about a month ago in literary aspects like short story and poetry and art and posters, competitions, and even dance, creative dance, and music, things like Creole song and Jingping drumming, and so these competitions are open to the general public. The deadline is the 30th of this month, the end of September, and we'll be having, of course, by email and WhatsApp. So we will be judging those entries online, So that's all part of the independence celebrations as well.
If all goes according to plan, the theme and the rest of the calendar should be announced later this week.
Hopefully, we should be having, I think, what should be quite an attractive independence program, one that can reconnect with our roots in Dominica, first of all, one that can also build unity and community in the country, enhance the environment with cleanup, beautification, planting trees, and so enhance education and cultural awareness with occasions like History Week and Heritage Week and Emblems Week, and so, and at the same time build a spirit of national pride.
A tragic road accident at Pocasset on Friday evening has left one 54-year-old man dead. Police PRO Simon Edwards has details.
Command from Dominica Police Force is investigating a fatal road traffic collision which occurred on Friday 25th September 2020 in Cheyenne, Pocasset about 8:30 p.m. Information received from public transportation service provider Anton Joseph of Grand Fond indicates that he was driving his Toyota bus registration number HE718 in an easterly direction on the Pocasset Road in an area called Cheyenne when the bus collided with an object he was not able to identify at the time. He stopped his vehicle, disembarked, and searched the area where he noticed the body of a male individual lying in the drain along the road. The victim was transported to the Accident and Emergency Department of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, where he was medically examined and officially pronounced dead by a medical doctor. The body was identified as Eloi Augustus Durand, male 54 years of Good Hope.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This video has been produced by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, to help small businesses go digital. Hello, my name is Richard. I always keep an eye on my customers' needs to improve my service. That's why I have implemented new payment methods that are preferred by my customers. I immediately activated bank transfers that allow my customers to send me money directly from their bank accounts to mine. Introducing different forms of payment has allowed me to expand my customer base. I also enable payments with credit and debit cards. We must also keep abreast of new form of payments. For example, mobile wallets, with which you can pay or receive money. It's like having cash but on your cell phone. Reactivate your business and discover new ways to reach your customers. More guides and templates are available for download.
Visit bb.undp.org. eFuture is now.
Thank you for staying with us. COVID-19, climate change and Cuba, the top agenda items for Dominica's Minister for Foreign Affairs when he addresses the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. Here's Andrea Louis with that story.
The 75th session of the United Nations General Assembly will take place under the theme, The Future We Want, the United Nations We Need, reaffirming our collective commitment to multilateralism, confronting COVID-19 through effective multilateral action. Dominica's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Kenneth Daru, will represent the country virtually due to the constraints of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Foreign Affairs Minister says the rise in COVID-19 cases and increased number of deaths have caused growing concern among the United Nations.
In fact, as we speak, we most countries are experiencing the predicted second wave. And just when sometimes we thought that the curve had begun going downhill, we are now beginning to see a rise in the cases of COVID-19 and deaths, unfortunately, in so many countries, Europe, etc.
Small island developing states are currently being hit with the compounded problem of climate change and COVID-19, which is another issue to be raised at the General Assembly.
Of course, this COVID-19 pandemic comes at a time when we also in the middle of the hurricane season. So I say this to say that small island developing states such as Dominica, that our struggles are perpetual. It's not like they take turns, COVID-19 this time around and climate change. I mean, we know that we were faced with two major disasters within the space of the past 4 years actually. And just when you're beginning to see the light of the tunnel in terms of improved housing, resilient housing, way of life for people, here comes this COVID-19 pandemic that definitely is making a serious dent in the economies of, even the mama economies of the first world countries.
On the topic of Cuba, Mr. Daru said Dominica will continue to advocate for the lifting of the U.S. embargo on that country, as well as push for greater recognition due to Cuba's role in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic.
The issue of multilateralism also is very high on the agenda in this year's theme of the UN General Assembly. And I think it would be a good opportunity for the rest of the world to salute the efforts of countries such as Cuba. And you heard the Prime Minister also speak of, as we do every year, make the case of the lifting of this, what we call unjust embargo against the Cuban government and people. We saw Cuba's efforts in helping, as I said, at Parliament, even more mature economies like Italy in the early days. So we, of course, will support the notion, of course, Cuba being nominated, Cuba the country, for a Nobel Peace Prize.
The Dominica Public Service Union is worried that its members will have difficulty securing appointments under a proposed new management system for the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital. Dr. Donald Peters and former President of Dominica, His Excellency Eliud Williams, are both members of the commission.
There's nothing in the act that says that we won't. And we are using the Dominica State College model, which happened before, where state workers, 2002 became Dominica State College members.
Everybody who was employed,
they transferred
with the various colleges,
and they kept their benefits.
Were public officers.
Yes.
And the law made provisions as to how to treat with these people.
And we use the exact law in there. So
using the same provision model, essentially.
But we'll get it. We've spoken with the drafter on this, because again, in fact, interestingly enough, you will recall there was a certain insistence that we consult widely. In fact, the last of the Zoom consultations was with parliamentarians who were not in the cabinet. And interestingly enough, the leader of the opposition there, Mr. Linton, asked, why are we really consulting them since the legislation must come to Parliament? And we're saying we are consulting because what is out here is a draft. We need to hear from as many stakeholders as possible. And then the follow-up question was, will there be changes? And we say, of course. If we are consulting, the purpose is to have improvement. And I can't recall, and I have lived here all my life, except perhaps a few years for overseas studies, when there was another piece of legislation or government policy position where there has been so much consultation. And we are saying we're going to continue talking, we're going to continue engaging. But if the first thing we hear is postpone, delay, we're saying let's keep talking, let's keep engaging. If we get to that point where we need a few more weeks, by all means, but you do not start by saying let's postpone. Just postpone until you why. There must be a good reason and sufficient reason why you're postponing. We're saying if we can deal with the issues, let's deal with it. Because whenever you speak to people in this country, and all of us must get to the hospital at some point, for one reason or another, and if not as a family member, they say to you there is need to improve the quality of service there.
With millions being spent on staff benefits each year under the proposed new system, particular attention will be placed on the quality of service.
The government provides about $30 million a year to run the hospital. It's going to be more because we'll have more buildings, more will be needed. About 77 to 80% of that money is used to meet staff costs, salaries, wages, allowances, and other benefits. So you cannot really improve service quality without having a good hard look at the human resource. And so in the new structure, for the first time, we will also have a human resource manager. Because if the government is spending 30 million of the taxpayers' money, the least the taxpayer can do is to have a right to expect quality of service.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
And to end the news, a look again at the headlines. Dominica's Foreign Affairs Minister expected to advocate for lifting U.S. sanctions against Cuba in his address at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. The National Health Commission opened to further consultation on policies for Dominica's new national hospital, and independence celebrations to begin with National Day of Prayer this weekend. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.